Welcome back to the Coins Information HD channel. Today we're diving into the most valuable and rare British coin, the 1980 Queen Elizabeth II new penny. One penny coin is a journey through time, design, history, and the evolution of British currency. At first glance, this small bronze coin may appear ordinary, overlooked, and taken for granted. Yet when we take a closer look, we discover that even the most common coins carry layers of meaning, craftsmanship, and cultural significance. The 1981 penny piece is one of those coins that seems simple on the surface but becomes far more fascinating the moment we pull back the curtain on its origins, its purpose, and its place in the long timeline of British coinage. In this extended exploration, we will dive into the historical context behind its creation, examine its physical details, discuss why it has no mint mark, explore the truth behind its rarity and the myths surrounding its value, identify what makes certain examples more valuable, and understand how the market treats this coin in the year 2025. By the time we reach the end, you will know everything there is to know about this coin, from its biography to its potential worth. To understand the 1980 penny, we must begin with the era that produced it. Just 9 years earlier, the United Kingdom underwent one of the most significant monetary changes in its entire history: decimalisation. The old system of pounds, shillings, and pence was complex, deeply rooted in tradition, and unlike the decimal systems used by most of the world. In 1971, the country shifted to a straightforward system based on hundreds, and with that shift came an entirely new family of coins. The new penny was introduced as part of this modernization. Its name, featuring the word new, was intended to guide the public through the transition, ensuring that people could distinguish between the old larger penny and the new smaller decimal penny. For over a decade, this label remained on the coin, reminding everyone of the change that had reshaped British currency. By 1980, Britain had settled comfortably into its decimal system. The new penny was no longer new in practice, but the name remained on the design. At this point in time, millions of people were using these coins every day. Yet even as a functional, everyday item, each coin was the product of careful craftsmanship and artistic intention. The obverse of the 1980 penny displays the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II. Sculpted by Arnold Mackin, this portrait became one of the most recognizable images of the Queen, used on coins throughout the Commonwealth. The design shows her wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a graceful and dignified representation that accompanied her for nearly 2 decades of coinage. Turning the coin over reveals the crown portcullis on the reverse, a design that ties the modern coin to centuries of British tradition. The portcullis, a medieval symbol associated with the Palace of Westminster, stands as a connection between Parliament, heritage, and governance. Encircled by the words, "New Penny," this design served as a reminder of the modern changes that the United Kingdom had embraced while still honoring its historic identity. One of the details that often confuses new collectors is the absence of a mint mark on the 1980 penny. While collectors in countries like the United States are used to seeing letters indicating where a coin was struck, the Royal Mint traditionally does not place mint marks on standard circulation coins. This means that every regular 1980 penny is a no mint mark coin, not because of an error or a special release, but because that is simply how the Royal Mint produced circulation pennies. As a result, the phrase, "no mint mark," does not indicate rarity for this specific coin. It does not make the coin special on its own, nor does it automatically increase its value. Instead, the coin must be examined for its condition, its details, or any unusual characteristics that might set it apart. The year 1980 saw the production of an enormous number of one-penny coins, with hundreds of millions entering circulation. This high mintage is one of the key reasons that the standard 1980 penny is not considered rare. They were produced in such vast quantities that many survived through the decades, stored in tins, jars, drawers, and collections across the country. Even today, it is not uncommon to find 1980 pennies in circulation. The sheer volume that remains in existence makes the average example widely available and inexpensive. However, rarity in numismatics is never as simple as mintage alone. A coin that exists in large numbers may still possess versions or conditions that elevate certain examples far above the rest. The state of preservation plays an enormous role in determining value. A penny that spent years passing through hands and pockets will show clear signs of wear, the loss of original shine, flattened details, scratches, spots, or discoloration. Such coins, while still historically interesting, do not command high value. Conversely, uncirculated examples that retain their original mint luster, crisp detailing, and sharp edges immediately stand out. These are the coins that collectors seek, the ones that were stored from the beginning rather than exchanged in everyday use. Uncirculated or mint-state 1980 pennies can be worth several times more than those that circulated, especially if their surfaces remain clean and undisturbed. Alongside condition, a factor that can dramatically impact the value of any coin is the presence of a minting error. While no famous, widely documented errors are associated specifically with the 1980 penny, errors do occur naturally throughout the minting process. An off-center strike can transform an otherwise ordinary coin into a highly sought-after collectible. Double strikes, where the coin receives two impressions instead of one, can create doubled lettering or ghost-like images that fascinate collectors. A coin struck from a damaged die may show cracks or raised lines, revealing the wear on the tool that produced it. Filled die errors can cause parts of the lettering or design to appear faint or missing. In rare cases, wrong planchet errors, where a coin is struck on the wrong type of metal, can lead to coins worth hundreds of times their face value. These unusual pieces are seldom found, but they do exist, and collectors always watch for them. As we examine the value of the 1980 penny in the year 2025, the picture becomes clearer. Most circulated examples remain worth only a small amount above face value, primarily because of their large population and widespread availability. Lightly circulated coins with good eye appeal may be slightly more desirable. Uncirculated examples, especially those with vibrant original color and minimal marks, can be worth more and often appeal to collectors creating full-year sets. Error coins, depending on their type and severity, may range from modest premiums to significantly higher values. While the 1980 penny is not a coin that typically sells for large sums of money, it remains a popular and important piece of decimal coinage that many collectors enjoy adding to their collections. Beyond pure monetary value, the 1980 penny represents a moment in British history when the country was adapting to its new decimal identity. It carries the portrait of a young queen who would continue to reign for decades. It belongs to the final years of the new penny inscription before the wording changed. And it embodies the early chapter of a modern coinage system that remains in use today. For many collectors, the true worth of such a coin lies not only in its market price but in the story it tells. Whether discovered in a change jar, passed down in a family collection, or picked up from a coin shop or market, the 1980 penny offers a glimpse into a time of transition, tradition, and continuity. So while the typical 1980 penny may not make you rich, it remains a historically meaningful and visually appealing coin. It reminds us that even the most common coins have stories worth telling and small treasures worth appreciating. And for those who take the time to examine them closely, the world of coins becomes not just a hobby but a journey through art, history, culture, and craftsmanship.